Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. My name is John Shipley. I am your host and beat reporter, and I have been your beat reporter covering the Jacksonville Jaguars for OnSI every single day since August 2019, and we are continuing to march forward through yet another season together. As always, you can find our 100% free, 24/7 boots on the ground content covering the Jacksonville Jaguars when you follow us on social media such as Facebook and Twitter at Jaguars on SI. You can also find us at www.si.com/NFL/Jaguars. All right, folks, welcome to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. My name is John Shipley. I am your host and beat reporter. Today is our final prediction episode before the Jacksonville Jaguars take on the Houston Texans on Sunday for Week 10. It is a rematch from their Week 3 battle that the Jaguars narrowly won. And this is an important one. This is an important one as we've detailed for the Jaguars, both for the AFC South race and for the AFC race in general. Now, if the Jaguars can keep the Colts within a few games of them, which they are right now, they still have to play them twice this year. In one of those games, the Colts are now set to be without DeForest Buckner. So if they can at least be within spitting distance of the Colts, they will have the opportunity in their hands to at least do something to catch up to them. Now, the AFC race is a different argument, but kind of similar in the sense that the Jaguars can't afford to really lose any ground. Just like they can't afford to lose ground on the Colts. They really needed this last week where they picked up a win and the Colts picked up a loss. Jaguars can't be losing on weeks that the Colts win. It kind of goes for the AFC race too. I mean, this AFC race, folks, is going to be competitive. Right now, the wild card teams in the AFC are the Los Angeles Chargers, the Buffalo Bills, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Kansas City Chiefs are out on the outside looking in right now. Add the Chiefs in, and that is three other teams who are top-level teams that the Jaguars have to compete with in a very crowded AFC South. Include the teams that right now are leading their divisions that still have to fend people off, and you get the Denver Broncos and New England Patriots added to that mix. AFC is a tough place to live right now. To make a playoff push in the AFC, you will have to earn it. That's why, if the Jaguars make a playoff appearance, in my opinion, regardless of what happens with that appearance, the Liam Cohen Year 1 project is a rousing success. Getting this Jaguars team to the playoffs in this crowded AFC after winning 4 games last season and after bringing in an entirely new coaching staff, front office, new leadership, alignment, all that would be very impressive. And to get there, the Jaguars need to win games like they have on Sunday. The Jaguars are facing a backup quarterback this week in Davis Mills. I believe the Texans are set to be, or at least projected to be without several other starters. Titus Howard, Jalen Petre. Obviously, amongst those, Ed Ingram, he's a very bad to middling player, but if he's a starter, he's a starter, so it's still a loss for them. But on the Jaguars side, they aren't exactly the healthiest team either. Important guys are either on IR or have not practiced all week, like Travis Hunter, like Eric Murray, like Brian Thomas Jr., like Ezra Cleveland, like Jordan Lewis. So there are some very important names to the Jaguars and what they do on both sides of the ball that will also probably be set to miss this contest. So again, 2 banged up teams. The Texans have an elite defense, best defense in the NFL. The Jaguars and Texans both had top defenses last time they played, and both defenses played really well. the weeks since have proven that the Texans are a legit good defense, and the Jaguars are maybe being masked by some of the turnover stuff. Like, we all kind of felt like, they were at the time. The Jaguars, I believe, in EPA per play are like 18th on defense now. That sounds about right. They sound about like the 18th or 19th best defense in the NFL right now. The Texans are the best. And in a game without Brian Thomas Jr. and a game without Travis Hunter, that is where my biggest question for the Jaguars comes in. At least as it pertains to Sunday. How did the Jaguars generate the explosive plays required to move the ball against this team? Because they don't give up many. It's not like they're going to give up a ton of short stuff either. I mean, it was a struggle for the Jaguars offense the last time these teams played. It's a very fast defense. It's a very physical defense. It's a very reactive and instinctive defense. It gave this Jaguars offense a lot of troubles in both the pass and run game. The Jaguars were able to run the ball a bit in the second half last time they played, but got absolutely nothing in the first half because the Texans were shutting it down both schematically and by out-executing the Jaguars up front. And another guy we mentioned, who they won't even have, Brendan Strange, was so important to that Texans game. Was the guy they were going to in critical situations, was pivotal on extending drives and as a blocker. So, Jaguars are going into Sunday, likely with their receiving core to look like some variation of Parker Washington, De'Ami Brown, Jacoby Myers, Tim Patrick, and Austin Trammell. It just seems like, Liam Cohen himself even said, he said it's going to be a grimy, contested catch kind of day. And that feels right. It feels like the Jaguars is going to be a sluggish, real rock fight almost at times, because not only are you going against an elite defense, but you're doing so almost with a hand tied behind your back because of the injuries you have. Jacoby Myers might play starter snaps, and he just got Jacksonville a couple days ago. So, I like aspects of the Jaguars against this Texans team. I think the Jaguars, I think Travis Etienne in space can still be effective. I think Trevor Lawrence played a sound game against the Raiders. See if he can carry some of that momentum moving forward. So, for me, it comes down to, can the Jaguars defense create opportunities to give the Jaguars an edge here and there? Because if this is a game with the Jaguars force no takeaways, I think it will be a struggle. And that, I'm not saying a struggle to match points with Houston, but I'm saying I think the Jaguars would be able to score here and there, but they would still be within scoring range for Houston, within striking distance. Because I don't think you would necessarily be putting them away or anything like that. So, for the Jaguars, I think to come out of this game, on the right side of what they're looking for, I think you have to force Davis Mills into a mistake. You have to get turnovers. You have to get takeaways. You have to get points off those takeaways. Jaguars obviously getting Devin Lloyd back. That could mean some really good things for them. Another week closer for Trayvon Walker to being healthy. But regardless, this is a Jags team that is going against, probably when you consider that they'll be without two stars on the offensive line, probably one of the worst offensive lines they'll face this year. They have to make plays this week on defense. I think Josh Hines-Allen will. I got a feeling Eric Armstead will. And Trayvon Walker will look obviously closer to being 100% as he works his way there. I have the Jaguars in this game, but like I said, I have it as a sloppy game. I'm going to go Jaguars 16, Texans 10. I do not think this will be a game that you walk out of thinking you just saw one of the best performances of your life. I think this will be a game that when the Jaguars win, they'll wipe the sweat off their brow and say, dang, it's a good thing we pulled that one out. Thank you guys for listening to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. My name is John Shipley. Be back next time.